Guppy diseases, parasites and remedies. Unfortunately, there are many diseases and parasites that can harm your guppy fish. The good news is that many of them can be cured. In this video, I will try to present to you the most common guppy diseases and infection, prevention, and remedies. Important: it is easier to prevent diseases than to treat sick fish. Here are some very basic steps to prevent most of the diseases. Keep water parameters and temperature at required levels. Feed your fish well, but do not exaggerate. Maintain your tank regularly, perform weekly partial water changes. Remove any dead fish immediately from your tank. Inspect your fish visually on a daily basis. Remove any sick fish from your main tank and place it into a hospital tank. Before introducing new fish to your main display tank, keep them in a quarantine tank for 3 to 4 weeks. Stress. Most diseases in your guppy fish are caused by stress. Stress weakens the fish immune system, and they become more vulnerable to infections and parasites. Stress can be caused by a lot of factors. Guppies, in their natural habitat, are surrounded by plants, tree roots, branches, leaves on other hiding places. In order to reduce stress, provide your fish with enough hiding places. Live aquarium plants are ideal for this purpose. An overcrowded fish tank can also be a huge stress factor for your fish. Guppies are peaceful fish, however. If you keep other, more aggressive fish, beta, gourami, angelfish, barbfish, together with your guppies, they might suffer. Too low or very high temperature is also a stress factor for your fish. Add a heater to your aquarium in order to keep the water temperature stable. Water quality is also a huge factor when it comes to stress, but also plays a big role in the development of illnesses. Do weekly partial, 30 to 50%, water changes, ensuring that the fresh water you are introducing into the tank has the right pH range, right temperature, and it is chlorine-free. Most common guppy illnesses and diseases. Important: in order to raise the chance of curing your guppies, you should always keep medication at home for the following most common guppy diseases. Now let's see in detail which are the common diseases that can kill guppies. White spots, ICH, ick. Probably the most common problem in the fish keeping hobby is the white spots, also known as ICH or ick. Ick is not deadly if treated in time. Ick is actually caused by an ectoparasite, ciliate protozoan Ichthyophthirius multifilius, and it is very easy to detect. The fish start rubbing their skin against rocks, plant leaves, decoration, or to the sides of the aquarium. They can also lose appetite. You will notice small white spots on their skin and fins. Curing ick is not that hard. There are various medications, but you can also use aquarium salt. How to cure ick? 1. Raise the water temperature slowly to 80 F. 2. Add your medication in the recommended dose. I use Sechem Paragard. 3. OR add aquarium salt at a rate of 1 teaspoon per gallon. 4. Keep this stage for 4 to 7 days. 5. Decrease the water temperature slowly back to normal. 6. Perform a big partial water change of about 70%, siphoning the substrate as much as possible. You can cure your fish from ick in a hospital tank, but you also have to apply the medication or salt to the tank where the fish got sick. Velvet, Oodinium. Velvet disease is similar to ick, but rarely occurs in hobby aquariums. The body of a sick fish is covered with tiny gold-colored dots, similar to gold dust. This disease is highly contagious and can quickly spread to all your fish. Velvet is difficult to be noticed in the early stage because the dots are so small. Usually, fish keepers realize too late that something is wrong when the skin of the fish starting to peel off and fish start bleeding. How to cure velvet? If discovered early, velvet can be cured with copper medication. We had great success with Sechem cupramin. For best results, turn off the lights on your aquarium until the disease is completely cured. Perform 70 to 90% water changes once your fish are symptom-free. Important: copper medication is deadly to shrimps and snails, so be careful with it. Also note that once you apply copper to a tank, you can't keep shrimps and snails in that tank anymore. Copper can't be washed out from a tank. Be careful with it. Fin, tail rot. Rotting fins and tail is a bacterial infection in guppies. It can also be caused by a fungus that grows on the nipped fins. Usually the fins and tail of the sick fish look like it is stuck together. Poor water quality and ammonia burns can also cause rotting tails. It is important to know what causes the rotting fin, because bacterial infection and fungus are treated in a different fashion. If the fins and tail do not have any damage, but have an obvious sign that it started rotting, most likely it is caused by bacteria. If the fins or tail is damaged and started rotting, most likely it is a fungus that causes the problem. How to cure fin, tail rot. Separate the sick fish to a hospital or quarantine tank. In case of bacterial infection, treated with antibiotics such as maricin, maricin 2, tetracycline, or Cechum Paragard. If fin rot is caused by a fungus, treat with special medication, always follow instructions. In case of ammonia burns, provide your fish with high-quality water. I highly recommend treating your sick fish in a separate tank, because you don't want to apply antibiotics or medication to healthy fish. Guppy disease, Protozoan. Protozoan is a tiny parasite that affects mainly guppies. It can be also harmful to other fish, but guppies are the most common that gets infected by this parasite. The parasite attaches to the fish's skin and slowly enters the fish body through their muscle until reaches the bloodstream. This parasite usually develops in unheated tanks along with bad water quality. How to treat protozoan. Add a heater to your aquarium and keep a stable water temperature. In early stage, malachite, green, or formalin can cure this disease. In more advanced stages, copper medicine such as Cechum cupramine should be used. After treatment, perform 50 to 70% partial water change. You can prevent protozoan guppy diseases by heating the aquarium water and doing regular partial water changes. Columnaris and mouth fungus. Although it looks like a fungus, this infection is actually caused by bacteria. The bacteria colony is usually formed on the fish's mouth or middle area of the body as a big white splash. The sick fish have trouble swimming because the infection slowly paralyzes the muscle. They also lose their appetite. The bacteria is highly contagious and mostly affects female guppies. However, male guppies can also be infected if the illness is not treated. It can wipe out the whole fish colony in a tank. How to treat columnaris and mouth fungus. The key to successfully cure columnaris is to start the treatment as soon as you see the first symptoms. You can use maricin antibiotic or formalin, which is a strong chemical, to cure this disease. Adding aquarium salt to your tank can also be effective. Do a 50% water change and add 1 teaspoon of salt per gallon every day for 3 days. Leave the salt in the water until the fish are cured. Perform a big 50 to 70% water change. A 30 minutes potassium permanganate, KMNO4, bath can also cure columnaris. Use this treatment carefully. Potassium permanganate is a powerful oxidizing agent, and you should not exceed 10 mg per L in the bath, because it can burn your fish. Avoid overcrowding your fish, perform regular water changes, add adequate filtration, and ensure good water movement and aeration in your tank in order to prevent columnaris disease and mouth fungus. Dropsy. Dropsy is caused by bacterial infection that usually infects the liver or kidney, causing the abdomen to become filled with fluid it cannot expel. The fish becomes swollen, discolored, and sometimes distorted, and the scales look like spine cones, elevated from the body. The belly will become bloated and the fish can have problems swimming. Bloated belly can also be caused by a fluid buildup in the colonic cavity. This can be the result of water pollution, genetic disorder, or feeding. Feeding too many bloodworms or long high stress can cause dropsy. How to treat dropsy? Unfortunately, dropsy caused by a bacterial infection cannot be treated because the bacteria cause damage in the fish's internal organs. By the time the fish presents any symptoms, their damage is so big that there is no return. If the swollen belly is not caused by bacterial infection, there are things you can do: provide the right water parameters, and feed a variety of good food. Some guppy fish keepers reported that Epsom salt can slow down this disease and help the fish relax, however it won't cure dropsy. If you want to treat your fish, you should not treat the entire aquarium, but you should give an Epsom salt bath to the sick guppies. Put 2 tablespoons of Epsom salt to 1 gallon of water, and put the fish in it for about 30 to 45 minutes. Make sure that the water has the same temperature as the water in your tank. The best is to use tank water for the treatment in a separate container. You can prevent dropsy disease by ensuring good water quality and providing a variety of high-quality food.